Yes, we still have a lot of noise, and I see Steve did find it. I just doing something real quick tonight, guys. Um, yeah, I did put it on subscriber only mode this time. We're doing something different. I figured I want to do something a little different. Now, notice I did use this screen once before, and it was just something I was trying out. And I figured, well, we'll leave Thursday and Saturday alone. And I wanted to just, I spend a lot of time just tinkering around here. So I wanted to be able to have a stream and you guys can kind of see what I do in between our main streams when I'm tinkering on stuff. So my first thing was to make sure everything worked with the screen right here, because we usually come in with a guitar part. And this is my Yamaha. And I've taken a lot of the stuff out. So basically, what I'm doing, what I'm doing, guys. Everyone knows I run the little Yamaha amp here. So we got this little amp right here. If I go to my main screen, I'm going to show you. I've pretty much turned everything off. Display screen, and of course, it's not going to show the display screen like that, is it? Okay, hold on. Let me see how I can actually. That's my display screen. So let me see if I can actually get it to do display screen now. So this is the little app for the little Yamaha amp. You'll notice that I turned all this off. Okay, if I come in here, I can go into this. I can turn this stuff on like the phaser. Okay, I don't know if it. Yeah, it's turned on. Spring reverb. And then you can change the spring. So you got spring, room, hall, plate. You can do all that. So we just have it on spring. Okay. And I've turned it off. Oh. It's hard to do it with Discord and with OBS. So we got all this off. I am running the compressor. Okay. Just so you guys can get an idea. And then if I switch to this view, remember I was saying on the wing rack, we actually have plugins. So if I go to my channels here, actually, let me get this one mic. It's not really set up too well tonight, guys. So if I come over here, I do have some plugins set up. So if I go to this channel, okay, you can see that I have, this is a tape echo. It's off. Okay, and that's all I have on this one. So it is stereo, so let's go to the other channel. Here's what I'm using, and it's a plug-in, and it's a what they call dual effects. It's a reverb and a delay. So it's a really direct signal. My guitar's a little out. So right here I have my tuner. I'm just going to bring that up. You can see that I'm tuned a half step down. Let's get the guitar in tune. So let's actually go in and do a little adjust. I did bring these up. I'm going to bring them back down to, let's say, like negative 1.2. I figured someone would find some interest in some of this. I said I would take you all along on the journey of learning the new stuff and trying not really to use an amp. It's a little desktop amp. We're coming right out of that, right into the wing rack. And I wanted to see how simple I could actually do it. We don't have any of the effects on, so I'm just using I guess the emulated preamp to get a little gain. And I figured I'd mess around in the wing rack and use some plugins and see what we can't get. That's in the center position right there. So if I go up to the neck position, it seems a little bitey. So I'm going to go back to the app, and we're going to turn the gain down just a little bit. I don't know how well it translates to YouTube, but what I'm hearing, okay, it sounds, when I'm playing it, it sounds a little lifeless. I don't know what you guys are hearing on your end. I'll open up the chat. On my end, it sounds a little lifeless. So I like. Granted, it's got to sound good. Things need to sound right, but at the same time, the person playing the guitar, it needs to feel like it has something for the person to enjoy. You got to feel connected to it. So playing it. I can't explain it. It just doesn't feel right. So I'm going to switch back over to the other camera. And until I get used to doing this, guys, it'll probably be kind of a train wreck. So let me move this out of the way. This is a wireless camera. So I kind of want you to get a good idea of what we're doing in the actual ring rack. So I'm going to swing you guys right over in front of the wing rack. Not as easy as I thought. Sorry for the confusion and the upset camera. So there's the wing rack. So if we go into our setting here, I'm going to bring my mic over so it sounds like I'm in the same room. If we go into here, this is our first channel. Now, since they're stereo channels and I'm panned center, left and right, it'll still act as a stereo channel. So if I add an effect of 15, it will bleed over in the stereo, okay? Even though I'm using two independent channels. So that's not the right one. Let's go to 16. So here's the effects that I was talking about. This is the delay and the reverb. So what you can do here, if you highlight the button, see how it puts the little square around it? We can increase it. This is the main knob. This knob here, all this does is allow you to tilt the head unit. So when you put it in a rack, you can tilt the rack up. So when you're looking down at the unit, it's more visible. So this is actually not a knob, but this knob here is your control knob, and you can see that it is changing our milliseconds. So let's run it up to like 300 milliseconds. Now, you also have a main mix. This is your wet dry mix. So if we do this, you'll see the little semicircle here in the white. And as I turn it, right now we're at 44%, that little semicircle moves back and forth. So this is your 100% wet. That would be this. I always like having a little dry signal. I think if it's 100% wet, it starts to sound funny. So let's say 50% wet dry. That's 50% dry guitar signal going into the chain. And if we need more delay, we can increase the delay amount here in our wet signal. So let's try that instead of doing 100% wet. So let's increase the delay level at 50% wet dry mix. That feels a little better under my fingers, but it doesn't quite have the delay that we had the other time. So let's turn the time. Actually, 300 works well. Let's leave that where it is. And let's try to brighten up the reverb. Now we do have a high cut here, so we can turn on the high cut. And you can change the frequency, the crossover point of the high cut. Okay? So you need to know where you're at, where you're not cutting your highs out. So if we really start sweeping this, you can hear. Now we're going to go the opposite direction. leave it right about there. I think we should decrease that just a little bit. I do need to open the check, guys. I'm sorry. So all we're doing, like I said, if you're just coming into the stream, I'm a person that always ran rack mount equipment, and I ran analog mixers. So I am in the journey of learning modern equipment and using plugins and simplifying guitar. You know, in today's day and age, do we really need a guitar amp? And I'm not going to tell you whether you do or whether you don't. Technically, I'm not playing really a guitar amp right now. This is just a little desktop, you know, Yamaha amp. And I'm just using that, I guess, as a direct box, as Steve would say. And then I'm using effects in the wing rack. We're going to leave it like that. I don't mind that too much. The size is at 28. Let's increase the size of the reverb. That's a bit much when you're playing rhythm, but it sounded good on lead. So you're trying to find a comfortable medium is what you're trying to do. And remember what I said, guys. We don't want to spend all night fiddling, okay? But as I sit here and fiddled, I figured some of y'all could maybe learn as I'm learning, okay? If you're in the same scenario and you're changing equipment, maybe you're just starting to use plugins. I will say this, you guys hear, that is a USB cable. If I unplug the Yamaha USB cable from the back of the amplifier, that noise goes away. So I am ordering a special shielded USB cable for it. There is something in the Wing manual that specifies the USB and Cat5 cables need to be shielded and grounded at the terminal at the jacket side. I didn't know there was a difference. I've heard of shielded cables, but I've never heard of the actual plug piece being grounded. But it says that's what it likes, and that's what they recommend. So I am going to order a new USB cable for that, and hopefully that'll go away. My Cat5 cables that I'm using, they're good quality cables, but when I looked them up online, it doesn't actually say they're shielded, and it doesn't say that they're grounded on the termination ends. So again, I'm going to have to reach out to my Sweetwater rep, see what they're selling people with these units. I'm sure there's a ton of people that have called in that may have had issues, and they might be able to recommend some cables that play well with the Wing. What are you guys thinking about that sound right there? Does that sound pretty decent? I see we have Timothy in here. CD Nelson came in. Looks like we have the real Queen Linnell in. Time Surfing Alien. Angry Trucker Bob. And if I'm missing anybody, it's because I'm not scrolling up. Niles is in here. Good to see Niles. Looks like Johnny Bean. I see Johnny Bean made an appearance in here. I'm just not looking at the chat, guys. Nicholas is in here. Who else? If I'm missing anybody, I apologize. Looks like Juke. And Earts. So that I'm going to kind of lean with that. This is a Yamaha Revstar CD. It's a great guitar. They make this. This is their cheapest version of this guitar. This one goes for about $550. They do make a little bit. Well, they actually make 4 models. This is the cheapest one, and I think it's a great guitar. Now, we went to Shenandoah Music tonight. I purchased this model because they didn't make a P90 version in the inexpensive model. Okay? The P90 version had a real fancy tailpiece right here. And it was $750, $850. I didn't pick it up and play it, but while I was at the store, they have this model now, okay, with the P90s. You know, I remember I talked about it a couple streams ago. I went in, they had a used black Revstar, which is it's not the RS model like this, it's the tier above that had the P90s and the fancy tailpiece. Used, it was $700. And I was kind of like, well, maybe I should take mine in and I'll trade it in on the one with the P90s. And then I started thinking about it. I kind of like the humbucker sound too. So then I said to myself, I said, well, maybe I should get the Seymour Duncan P rails. And basically that's a P90, okay? And they put one rail single pull, okay, next to the P90. So you can run it as a humbucker, or you can eliminate the rail pickup and run the P90, or you can eliminate the P90 and just run the micro rail. I was like, well, that gives me the best of both worlds. The drawback to the P rail is you have another magnetic winding there. You have another coil. So that is going to influence the P90 a little bit. How much is it going to influence it? I don't know. So I looked at it this evening. I have to work tomorrow. So I just ran down to put a payment on Linnell's amp and to work out our next guitar giveaway. So I got that done, and it was already 6 o'clock. And I didn't want to go over and grab the guitar and check it out. They close at 6. So if the guitar is still there next weekend, I'm definitely going to check it out. But it is this model with P90s. But if you guys are on the fence with these, it's a great instrument. You know, it's different. It doesn't look like any other guitar. I think Yamaha knocked it out of the park trying to design a different kind of body style. Something that no one else was doing. And I think they did that. It's a nice double cut design. I love this style bridge. A lot of adjustment. And they put this little coil. It's like an EQ, Okay, so it's not splitting the coils. It's an EQ. That's in the up position. Down position. You can hear it. It makes quite a difference. It's a lot mellow. It has a mellow sound in the up position. So that's up position, down position. Would you have to pay me to take that? You'd have to pay me to take that thing home. That's pretty funny. It's got a good sound, man. I didn't buy it because it looks like a heavy metal rock guitar. That's what I'm into. I bought it because it was something different, and it makes me play a little differently. And I think that's what I need. I'm bad for just buying super strats because I really like playing super strats. But there's a side of me that just some nights I just want to play something different, and this guitar makes me play different. I have a little Squire. It's a Nashville Strat. I know you guys have seen it. I love that guitar. Um, I paid $325 for it. They've went way up. Now they're like $450. That is a freaking awesome guitar. That little Nashville Strat Squire makes is just an awesome little guitar. It's got a quacky sound. It'll give you some telly sounds. It'll give you some Strat sounds. But when I play it, I play differently. And that's just another guitar that makes me do that. So really, this guitar, my hollow body, and that Nashville Strat, those are my three guitars that I have. If I'm in a funky mood, those are the ones I'll reach for. They're the all three of them are great guitars. They're all under $550. You know, so I think that's a good buy. If you're buying a guitar that you're not going to play a lot, I mean, I don't play this guitar a lot. I don't play the Nashville a lot. I don't want to spend $2,000 you know, a Fender Nashville Telly. It would make, if I had the money, yeah, sure. If money wasn't an option, great. But money is an option. So buying that little Squire, it sounds good. Is that Fender going to play four times better? I guess that's up to the person buying it. I think it plays fine. I have some expensive guitars. My expensive guitars are expensive because they have more hand time. The Squire has less hand time, but that doesn't mean that it's a bad guitar. Um, Mine's a really good one. I've played a couple at the store. I've yet to pick up a Nashville Telly from Squire that felt bad, that had, sharp fret ends or wasn't set up well right in the store hanging on the wall. They seem to be pretty decent guitars. And I say that this guitar here, out of the three I just mentioned, this one, the fret ends right here, it would definitely snag the sock. And I have not fixed it. So as picky as I am when I do my reviews, this guitar, I guess you could consider it fret sprout, but it's not horrible. Okay. So I'm waiting. I've had the guitar about a year now. So I think the guitar is going to do, it's done all that it's going to do. So if I went through and I just chamfered, with my my in-file just a little bit on these, I don't think I'd ever have another issue with the guitar. But it came that way. That this is in its stock form. And I've played two other ones, and they were very similar to this one as far as the feel on the side of the fret. So if you do get one, the three that I've played do have that issue. It's pretty easy to fix. All you need to do is take your in file and just go across it 2 or 3 passes, just like this. You can actually take some 400 grit sandpaper and just 1, 2, 3, 4, and it'll probably disappear. It's I know what you get. It's that right there on the edge. That's what I feel. It's not as bad as the Gretsch bass that I picked up last weekend. Remember I said you could probably shave your face with that thing? It had bad fret sprout. Tonight I picked the guitar up to see if they fixed it, and they did. Brian in the back took the guitar back there. I picked it up tonight. It's wonderful. That's another thing. Your local store does a lot. When they're selling guitars from Fender, Gretsch, they're unboxing it. They got to put it on the floor. They want to sell the product. Pick a store that has a good tech that goes through their inventory, okay? And you're going to notice, you're going to, you buy from Sweetwater, you buy from AMS. If you go to a really good mom and pop store that does that, you don't know. They could have dressed the ends of the fret, done a setup. They want to sell the product. So if they're paying their tech $35 an hour, and he takes an hour on the guitar to set it up, put it out on the floor, the store's going to eat that. Ooh, thank you, Trucker Bob. So the store's going to eat that little bit, but it helps the guitar sell. So when you go into a store like that, that's reputable, that's doing that to the guitars when they go out, you might go in and say, well, I'm just going to order this on Sweetwater. Keep in mind, Sweetwater does an inspection test, but if this guitar would go right through Sweetwater, it would. When I buy guitars from Shenandoah, unless it's already a floor model, I tell them, don't touch it. I don't want, I'm buying the guitar to review. Just unbox it, make sure the neck isn't broke off from shipping, but don't touch the guitar. And they're just so used to taking it out of the box and doing 1 or 2 things to it to get it ready to go to the floor. I always ask them not to because I have to bring it back here and do a review for you guys. That's why this guitar has this issue. If this guitar actually went out on the floor, it would have been addressed. Brian would have addressed it. So just thought I would bring that up. It's a good playing guitar. Let's try a different guitar. So whenever I play around with amp settings, I wanna plug in a couple different guitars because you can set your EQ up and it'll be really friendly to this guitar, but it may not be friendly to another guitar. So you gotta find that spot that's just kind of equal, especially here because we do guitar reviews. That's bridge. So let's go up to the neck because we were just listening to the neck on the Revstar. This is the neck on the Ibanez. It's not horrible. Let's give it a tune. And we are tuned to a half step down, D sharp. trying to keep you guys on your toes. Everyone's kind of gotten used to Thursday and Saturday. So I like just coming on, doing something different. Maybe someone new will come in that hasn't heard of this channel, and I can introduce them to some new content, because we have a lot of guitar reviews here, a lot of how-to videos, and a lot of budget guitar stuff as far as buying budget guitars and turning them into really professional grade instruments. I went to order my Leo James, just so everyone knows. I did say that I was going to order a Leo James, and the one that I wanted to order is no longer in stock. So I was a little heartbroken at that. It has been over a year and a half since we had one on the channel, and I definitely want to give the company another look at. Another company that I want to revisit is Grote. I've been hearing some not so good things lately about Grote. So I would like to get a new Grote on the channel and see if $150, or the one that I reviewed was $150 for their Telly and Strat. That model now is under $100. They have changed the tuners. I'm sure they've changed the pickups. But I'm kind of curious, is it still a decent instrument? The original one, the neck on it was quite thick. I can live with that. So that setting in the wing rack will most likely stay, and we'll use this setting for our clean tones. Actually, that's not clean. That has a little dirt on it. Now let's check it. Let's go. I'm not sure if I'm still on the display screen or not. Yes. You guys can see. Let me, whoops. Let me move that and get it. You guys can see that. So we're on Crunch channel. You can see this is the little app for the Yamaha. I want to go up to the special channel, and I want to see if those settings will translate to the high gain channel. And you can tell already it's a little much, and this is already down, so we're going to punch the gain just a little bit. Guitar volume. And it will remember these settings. Let's give it a little bit more gain. Gain is your friend. Let's change our cabinet. Let's go to a fuel cabinet. Let's try the Juicy. Let's go back to Vintage. They do have a brown cabinet. It's not horrible. I think we need to take our little bit out of the volume there. You hear that scratchiness? That's the only thing on these modeling amps that I'm not a big fan of. Wherein a real tube amp doesn't do that. I don't know if you guys can hear that. There's a distortion or it sounds like a noise floor or something when you're. It sounds like a short in the cable or something. I've noticed that with modelers. Sometimes I can get that worked out. I'm not really sure at this point where that's coming from. Let's tinker here a little bit. It could be right here. Let's take the gate off. Try to eliminate some of the junk. What do you guys think of that? Any better, or is it getting worse? That's the trick. Does it get better or does it get worse? I'm still struggling with learning how to switch the buttons, guys. Sorry. So that's what I do in between streams when I say I'm working on things. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to work out the problems with the modelers. Kurt says there's no bass. All right. Let's remember, Kurt, I'm not playing a bass guitar. Guitar has a small section that it has to live in. My ears are tuned to what the guitar needs to sound like in a band. Can I make the guitar sound fuller in the room? Sure. Then I get used to listening to it that way, and then when I go out and play live, I'm trampling over a keyboard area or a bass area. The guitar needs to live in a specific little area, if that makes sense. So you might think that you have a killer sound, but when you get all the other instruments in it and that sound guy chops your signal path and your how much bandwidth, or I don't know what you call it, where you live in that space from low to high, you might be surprised how much he's cutting out of your signal. So I have decreased. Here's more bass. I can't. Oh, there's two Leo James models. I pointed out about 2 weeks ago in the chat. They come out with the Tusami or whatever it was that has Roman numerals on it. And when I was looking at it, I noticed that the 17th fret is not marked right. It just says X11. So you have two X11s on that neck. And my OCD would kick in. I couldn't deal with that. And it was so funny. People was watching the stream and say, no, it's right. It's right. I'm looking at it. I'm like, no, the Roman numerals are wrong. But they did make two models with the Floyd Rose tremolo. It was humbucker, single humbucker, that actually had the Roman numerals right on the neck. It actually had XV11 on the 17th fret. And I was going to order that one in the blue. They had it in red and some other color. But those two sold out, and all the ones with the incorrect labeling on the neck are still for sale. I think I shot myself in the foot because I brought that out. I brought that to light to everybody, so everyone thinking about buying one made sure they bought the one that the Roman numerals were actually right on. I don't know what Leo James is going to do. He's got 4, 5, 6, he's got 7 models now that are all mislabeled necks. I don't really need to review their guitars. That in itself, guys, should tell you they have no quality control. You're going to, Leo James, I make my guitars. Well, that's even worse. If you have your own company and your own plant and you're making your own guitars and you're not going out on the floor and you're not going, oh my gosh, we've got that whole thing wrong. And you've already made a couple thousand of them, or 500 of them, or 200, whatever. That's even worse. If you farmed it out and they sent you a prototype and the prototype was wrong, and you then ordered it and got a bunch of wrong ones, or maybe you got a prototype and then you farmed it out and they screwed up all your orders. Either way, what are you going to do with those guitars? I don't get it. I hear them crow that they make their own guitars. I wouldn't be crowing that if I just made a couple thousand guitars wrong. I remember a couple months ago they were talking about, it was a Leo James model. It had a push-pull. And they said, we put the push-pull in there to give you the option to split the coil in your pickup. All you have to do is break the 2 wires and then solder it to the posts on the push-pull. I'm going to translate. They put the push-pull in, but the factory screwed up and didn't wire it. So they're just saying, look, we gave you the option, but we didn't do it. We didn't want to, if my option is I'll push it down and it's a humbucker, and when I pull it up, it's a single coil. Don't sit there and have these other YouTube channels say, they gave you the option, we put a split coil in it, all you got to do is wire it. There's a couple things that really get me on these budget companies. This Acolyte made a bunch of horrible guitars here a couple months ago as well, and they were coming up with all kinds of excuses why there was something wrong with one of their potentiometers wasn't wired right. There was some lame excuse on why it was done. No, they screwed them up. So I'm kind of waiting to. I'm not going to order one of those Leo James, even if it goes on sale for $150. I'm sorry, I'm not. That my OCD would kick in with that X11 on the 17th fret. I couldn't. It's a cool looking guitar, and I'll even say this: it's a guitar that I know I would like because it's a humbucker down by the bridge, and they put a single coil up by the neck, and that's really close to the pickup configuration that I love. If they would just move that pickup down, not in the center, not in the neck, kind of move it down, kind of split it, give you that fourth position sound, give me proper Roman numeral on the neck. And yes, they did away with the ball-end frets on these. That's another reason why I wanted to order the guitar. It had conventional frets. Okay. Yeah, it's like the Monsoon. My first Monsoon I ordered, the pickups flopped around. It had they drilled the two screws in the back of the neck, barely hit the neck. I measured it. I think it was, if you go back and watch, it's either 5 millimeters or 7 millimeters off the end of the neck. That's where the screw was, and it broke. It cracked the neck in both spots. Okay, that was in the second production run. The first production run didn't have that problem. But why did they change it? If you have a plant, and you have a CNC machine, and you have a bore routine, why would you change your bore locations on a guitar that you already previously made? Why would you do that? You had a first production run, you had problems with the pickups flopping. You had problems with crappy tuners. Fix the floppy pickups, put better tuners on it. But they didn't do that. They kept the crappy tuners. They did fix the pickups from flopping around, but then they misbored the neck. These are little tattletale signs that's saying they're not building it, they're just farming it out to who. And if they are building it, again, I'm going to qualify, that just makes it even worse. That means someone's just running a CAD program for 150 guitars. They throw it in the trash can. Hey, Leo, we need to make more of these guitars. Okay, go ahead and put it in Mach 2 or put it in that crappy Fusion program and write a CAM program for our shop bot. That's kind of how I see it. That's the only way it can work. You don't run a second production run and change your bore locations. You wouldn't do that. Why would you? You've already got your CNC program and your drawing done with these bore locations. You got a second production run, you go, hey, we screwed these items up on our first production run. Let's fix it. Is anything in our CAD program wrong with the guitar? Well, according to MusicNGear, not really. So let's just leave that alone. Let's put some better tuners on the guitar. Let's fix our pickup problem. Let's put some foam under the pickups. Since it's a direct mounted, no pickup ring, let's put some foam under it to stabilize the pickups. And screw him, we're going to keep with the ball and frets. I'd be okay with that. But that's not what they did. So when I see this guitar on Amazon, I'm looking at it going, no one at that plant noticed it. No one on the receiving side noticed it. Is there no one there? I mean, it's not like, well, they don't speak English, they don't know. These are Greek, Roman, they're Greek and Roman numerals. I think that's pretty much cultural across the planet, to my knowledge. It just blows my mind. But that's the guitar I wanted to order. They did have 3 models that were correct. They're sold out, so we're not going to get one now. Rant's over. That's why you don't see me doing too much anymore. I went, since that was sold out, I did go to Guitar Gardens. I'm looking at Firefly. And Firefly is just beating the exact same dead horse they've been beating for the last year. I like Firefly, but they're just, the Mad Cat. That's a great guitar. I saw they got the Mad Cats back up. It's a fantastic guitar. If you want a nice Telecaster and you don't want to spend a tremendous amount of money and you want something unique, go to Firefly and get that Mad Cat. The amount of work and the binding and the top, it's ridiculous, and it's done well. Buy that guitar, plan on putting good tuners on it, and get yourself some nice pickups for it. Some quacky pickups if you want to play country, or some mojo tones if you want to rock it, like Prince. And I'm telling you, you'll have less than $600 on it, and it'll be a wonderful guitar. And again, I'll say this to Firefly just like I said it to Leo James. Dump the ball in frets. It's a novelty thing. Just give us some conventional frets, something that's not going to snag the strings. Okay, give us conventional frets. That way, when we have to level the frets in the future, or we want to do something different with the frets, we're not spending a tremendous amount of time on this ball end. And we're not looking down the neck of the guitar and looking at the ocean wave because you've pressed these frets in, and this fret's smaller than this fret, or this fret's bigger than this fret, and it just waves like the ocean. I can't. There's just certain things. Again, I have OCD. I get it. It's fast. We're talking about fast guitars. We're talking about $200-$300 guitars. Just give me a conventional fret. I mean, understand who's buying your product. They're beginners or people that want a mod platform. People that want a mod platform, they want a solid base. You got to have a solid base. That means your neck, your frets, and your body need to be solid. It needs to be solid. Don't do what Firefly did on their P90 guitars. Oh yes, you didn't know about this, did you? Yeah, if you bought a Firefly with P90s, you better watch out, because when you get a Seymour Duncan or Dylan Talkstone, they are going to rub in the body. Ask me how I know. They do. You have to do a clearance around the route for a conventional, and it's not off much. You only need a 32nd of an inch, but that 32nd makes it to where that pickup will not freely move up and down for your height adjustment. Twice on 2 Fireflies, that problem. Use a route routine that person that buys that guitar can put the pickups of their choice on it. Okay? And you're not going to kill yourself. Order a Seymour Duncan. Order a DiMarzio pickup. Those are your major companies. Measure their pickups and route your guitars to fit those pickups. Don't give me a proprietary route. Firefly, again, with the white Super Strat FFST that Jupe sent us that we gave to Devastator's daughter. It had this proprietary, see how this is square here? That's how these pickups are made. There's a square tab. It's not a triangle. So Firefly routes a triangle here because their pickup has a triangle mountain flange. Well, guess what? You're either rerouting the guitar or you're taking this pickup and you're grinding the tab down to a triangle like we did on that Firefly. Again, these companies understand who your market is. It's beginner guitars that aren't going to mess with it. And most of the time, it's people buying a guitar that want to modify it. You know, you need... Oh, thank you so much, Jude. Linnell's doing Cognito tonight. She just came in and went... Sorry. Understand who your market is. So that's why you haven't seen too many budget guitars. I went to Firefly and I'm looking, and I'm just not seeing anything new from them. I hate to say that. I'm just not seeing anything that makes me go, okay, I think it's time to revisit Firefly. I haven't seen anything that they've done that they weren't doing last year. And the Leo James guitar, it was something they hadn't been doing. They gave us conventional frets. It had a Floyd Rose. And granted, it's a Chinese cheap clone, but it supposedly uses the Floyd Rose footprint. And it was $220. I know what you're saying. Avery, will you say at $450 or $400 you can get an Ibanez? You can. The new RGR Ibanez has the exact same bridge they put in the gym, which is Ibanez's licensed Floyd Rose. Okay. It has the Infinium or whatever it is pickups in it, reverse headstock. That guitar right now on Sweetwater is $399. It's $399. Okay, I buy the Leo James at 220, I can guarantee you the bridge on that guitar is going to be substandard. Let's not lie to ourselves, guys. This is an honest channel. It's going to be a substandard bridge. We know this. If you get one and it works, great. Enjoy it while it works. It's not going to work more than 6 months, a year, and the knife edges are going to be wiped. They're very soft metal. So now let's figure the exact same problem. All the little Leo James Firefly, the nut metal up here is very soft. So if you over tighten it, they strip instantly. If you have not had that problem, you're very fortunate. It's very soft metal. So count on a locking nut, count on a bridge. If you go the cheapest route, the cheapest good bridge is the Godo 1996 GT. You can get the nut in the bridge for about 150, 160 bucks. If you see the one for 129, it's just the bridge. It doesn't come with a nut. And in some cases, you may need to do that because the factory nut, I want to say it's 42.2 millimeter is the Godo, or it's 42. So if you've got a different size neck, you want to buy the one without the nut and then buy the proper R2, R3, R whatever R nut that you need. And if you're buying a lefty, of course, it would be an L, whatever. That's 160 bucks. So now you're at 380 bucks and you've got a guitar that you got to disassemble, put a bridge in. Now let's also keep in mind all these budget guitars come with strings. The Ibanez comes from the factory with Diodario XLs. I'm not saying XLs are the world's best guitar strings. That's what this guitar has on it. I just bought a 3-pack of XLs. Where are those at, hon? They in there? Just literally bought some. I play them. They're good guitar strings. The Leo James is going to come with crap strings. Went to the music store tonight. Here's proof. 3-pack. These are great strings. They last. I don't have a problem with them corroding. They don't really go dead that quick. And the best, you get all that and they're very reasonably priced. I think this is probably the best bang for the buck. Now, I do like the XS strings that they make. But I can buy 3 pair of these, okay, for the price of, well, yeah, it's almost double the price for the XS. I'm not sure if it's worth it. I like them, but I think I like these at half the price. It's a little more than half the price, but it's very close. So now you buy a set of strings, it's $12. You're at the exact same price as that Ibanez. And now you got to do all the work. That's why I haven't been doing too much. It's not that, oh, he jumped the shark. He let us all on. He did budget guitars for a little while, and now he's on an Ibanez kick. He's on a Gretsch kick. He's on a Kramer kick, or whatever guitar we reviewed last. Squire. I don't care who. You got to have a good price point and a decent guitar. I don't care who the manufacturer is. I just point out, if we think we're going to buy a guitar with a tremolo, a Floyd Rose style tremolo for $200, you're dreaming. I have a Firefly in the basement. It's the George Lynch model. Hey, notice that guitar is not selling. I put that video out, I think it was about 3 weeks after they released that guitar, and proved that tremolo on that guitar is the worst tremolo ever. And they're just not selling. I'm not the only review that has said that. Someone made a comment that the bridge had to be even. And there is some truth to that. The posts off the body should be pretty close. You can be off 0.75 millimeters to a millimeter. It's riding on the crown of the knife edge anyway. So now if you really lower this post and you jack that post, it throws the bridge at a kilter, and the strings are at a straight pull. So it does misalign the knife edge as you move forward. there is truth to it, but unless you've got it really screwed up, it's not going to make that much difference. Um, that guitar is still downstairs. I ordered a Goto for it and just haven't got around to fixing it. I paid full price for that guitar. That guitar was $279. Actually, I think it was $289, and then it was almost $320 to my door. That's insane. That's insane. To pay that for that guitar and then turn around, have to disassemble it, put a better bridge on it, and work on it. I like the guitars. I've got a Firefly. I've got two upstairs and one downstairs. It's the only two I still have left. I love my double cut, my DC P90 that I bought from them. I think it's a great neck on that guitar. It came with decent tuners. And believe it or not, the stock electronics really wasn't that bad. That was a $199 guitar. I wanted something with really nice P90s, so I put the Dylan Talks tone in it, but I did have to route the body a little bit to get them to clear. That means I have to also modify the pickguard. Is it worth it? I've got now $600 and some in a Firefly DC. I know it plays good, but now I have to convince, if I go to sell that to somebody, I have to convince someone that this $200 guitar is now worth $600. My name is good. People here in the chat that have gotten my guitars that I've worked on, they will tell you that I'm a good luthier or guitar tech, whatever the person wants to call me. I don't consider myself a luthier. I don't consider myself really a guitar tech, but I also don't consider myself an AutoCAD guy or a computer programmer on CNC machines. But that's what I do, if that makes sense. I look at what other people have accomplished, and I look at other people's work, and I find it amazing. And I always scale myself against the best, if that makes sense. So if I scale myself against the best, I'm nobody. But that always makes me want to get better, because I'm always like, this guy is the best guitar builder I know. I want to be that good. I want to be this good at playing guitar. So I set my heights really high, and I strive to be that. That's why when people ask me, well, no, I'm not a full-time tech. No, I'm not a carpenter. No, I'm not a this, or no, I'm not a that. Because I don't consider myself as one. I want to continue to learn, if that makes sense. Why don't you talk into your mic and I can hear you? Let me hook Linnell up. There you go, honey. Talk into your microphone. She's in a mood tonight, guys. She's.
How much did you have in the FFMN that sucked? The
Uh,
one with the bad drill holes.
yeah, that guitar went to a channel subscriber. I had about 600 in that guitar. I never changed it. If you go back and watch the ending video, I think it was 550 that was in that guitar. But that guitar, it took a tremendous amount of work to get that guitar to that level. That guitar was stupid when I was done with it. But keep in mind, I did a whole series of videos on making that guitar as good as it could possibly be with its stock components. Okay? Then we took the whole guitar apart and we put we modified, we built a custom bridge for it, we put better tuners on it. We really upgraded all the hardware, we upgraded the electronics on it. So by the time it was all said and done, I probably had at least 40 hours of labor in that guitar, and a total cost, I think it was right around $550. So you want to compare it to a Music Man? I know that guitar was far superior to a $1,000 Music Man with a Floyd. I would put it right next to a PVHP2, a nice one, like a $2,600 PVHP2. The drawback is, even though it's a comparable playing and quality of workmanship, we have this thing in this country, and I'm guilty of it too. We look at it and say, well, I've never heard of that brand. Well, it doesn't matter who the brand is if it's a great instrument. It only matters when you go to resell it because so many people think like what we just said. Well, I've never heard of that brand. Hey, I'm not giving you that kind of money for that. So when you ask that kind of money for a Firefly or a Joe Smo guitars out of California, it's hard. It's hard for people that don't know what it is to pay that kind of money. This is a very small channel, so for you to buy one of my instruments and then go into Guitar Center, well, Avery at Music and Gear set this guitar up, okay? Or Avery did the fret level, or Avery built this guitar, they might go, I don't know who Avery is. Does that kind of make sense? So my name doesn't justify a price, okay? If we look at Dylan Talks Tone, does Dylan's pickups add value to your guitar? I think he will tell you just as I will tell you. If you buy a really nice Fender, let's say you buy an $1,800 Fender, and you buy his best pickups and you stick in it, first thing he's going to tell you is keep your stock electronics. When you go to sell that instrument, put the stock electronics back in it and sell it. You're not going to get any more money for your Duncan distortions or your DiMarzios or your Fluence pickups or your Barnes pots or your Pure Tone jack that you put in it or your ratio, your $150 ratio tuners that you installed in that guitar. You're not going to get it back. Keep your stock parts, put the guitar back to stock, sell it, and if you've got nice ratio tuners, you could transfer them to your next project. Unless you're just done with it. Let's say you bought ratios and you're not bonding with it. And someone goes, ooh, yeah, I'll spot you an extra 50 for those ratio tuners. Okay, leave them on the guitar. They weren't your cup of tea to start with. So at that point, I kind of get it. Does that make sense? It's really up to you what you like and dislike. I bought hip shot tuners to upgrade this guitar with. Does this guitar really need tuners? No, it doesn't slip. I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it for the locking tuners, quick string changes. Okay, I like the pickups in this guitar, but I actually bought new pickups. I bought some guitar head pickups for it. Are they expensive pickups? No. Guitar heads are not expensive pickups, but I like them. So I bought some guitar head pickups for it. And the only true upgrade that I think might be considered an upgrade, I did buy a high mass hip shot bridge for the guitar. And I'm hoping that I'm going to like it. I picked this guitar because Linnell has one, and I like the way it plays. I like the way it fits against my body. It's comfortable when I play it, and that's what it's about. It's got to be comfortable for you. And I find it easy to get harmonics out of this guitar. Let me crank that. Let's give us like a little meat. There's something about the frets on it when I pull forward. I can hammer on with this guitar, and I get a good response out of it. It responds well without picking it. I like that. It just bonded with me. It's not that it's an expensive guitar. It feels right in my hands. I'm like, okay, what can I do to the guitar to make it a little better? Ibanez doesn't offer this model in about an $800 or $900 price point. I think it goes from this model right up to about $1,400 or $1,500, and then up to the stupid 26, $3,000 price point. So, Ibanez, if you're listening, there's a market for this guitar in the $700 to $800 price point. Build me this guitar. Don't change the pickups. Leave the quantums in it. Give me some, maybe, locking tuners, a little bit better bridge, and give me a three-piece neck. I want a three-piece neck. You don't have to put the stripe, but give me a three-piece maple neck without the scarf joint, without the shiplap joint. Okay? But, worst case scenario, give me a two-piece neck without the scarf joint. I definitely want a piece neck. If you can pull that off at $850, two-piece neck, you don't have to put a stripe in here. Just two pieces of maple. That'll help it stabilize it. Okay? You don't have to do any better on the fretwork than this one is. Okay? You can leave the fingerboard material the same. If you want to go to the rosewood, that's a plus, but that's fine. Give me a little bit better bridge, change the neck, and a locking tuner, and put me at $850, and I'll buy that guitar. And I'm sure I am not the only person that would buy it, because it would fit a niche. No one's making a $850 hardtail guitar with a multi-piece neck. You've got a good pickup, and you already make that neck. You make a three-piece neck without the laminate stripe on it. If you don't know, like I say, you can go to a two-piece if you want to save a little bit of money or glue up time. That's fine. It's still going to be stable. I really think it would be a good selling guitar. Leave everything else the same. Maybe do away with the binding here. Okay? Just give us a natural wood transition where the laminate stops. No one's going to say anything as long as you've got a nice clean glue line around the body. Just leave that laminate, your veneer top line shut. Pick maybe a darker stain on the back. It'll disappear. You don't need this binding. So save your money in this binding. Take that allowance, put it in the tuners of the bridge or wherever to save you some money. We don't need it. The person buying that guitar isn't going to cry if he doesn't have this. If this color went all the way to this edge, no one's going to say, oh my gosh, they took the binding off that guitar. Why'd they do that? You see what I mean? That's just kind of my thought. It's a good playing guitar. All right, guys, we're not going to stay on late tonight. I just wanted to do something different, keep you guys on your toes. And if you wasn't here at the beginning of the stream, this was more of a stream where I just wanted to kind of we've changed up. We bought a wing rack, and I want to take you guys through the process of someone like me that was all analog and learning the new system. Okay, how to make plugins work. And I might actually get to the point where I might just do like Steve was saying. I'm going to look into the wing and see how the input works. There are some amp models in the wing. If you buy a new wing, Sweetwater told me there were no modeling things for guitar in it. That's 100% incorrect. There are 4 amp models built into the wing. I just need to verify, can I plug my guitar directly into the input? Will it recognize it? Will it cause a problem? Let me find that out, and if it does, we're going to try some of the amp models that are actually in this mixing console. Might even bypass the Yamaha completely. We have this amp already. I don't have it turned on tonight, but it is wired directly into the wing now. So I have my tube amp. if we want to demo tube stuff, we can use this tube amp. We can use that tube amp, the Egnator. So we do have some tubes, but modeling seems to be the easiest way of going just because of the open microphones, not having that open speaker in the room. All right, guys, are you on? Yes, we're doing the guitar giveaway tomorrow night. And guys, it'll probably be a short stream tomorrow night as well. I have to work tomorrow, so I'm going to come home right from work. I'm going to take a power nap. Then we're going to do the guitar giveaway. And keep in mind, we're giving away a Washburn. It's an RX-20. If you guys win the guitar, it's going to take a little more than 30 days for me to complete the work on the guitar. But we are going to go ahead and just go ahead and do the giveaway. So if you want to get entered to win the guitar, you need to be publicly subscribed to the channel, and you need to go to our Discord. And on Discord, you're going to see a guitar giveaway room. So all you need to do is go in there and say, I am such and such. I'm Johnny Soap Bar on YouTube. Please enter me to win the free Washburn. And once we verify that you're publicly subscribed, you're entered to win. That's really easy. There's a list that I look at, and it tells me whether or not you subscribe or not. So it's really that simple to win. We've already got March's guitar picked out. Technically, we're giving the guitar away in February. This is January's guitar, but the snow and everything held us up, so we didn't get a chance to do the drawing. So the drawing is tomorrow night. So hopefully everyone will come in for the drawing. And we already have March's guitar picked out. I don't know what we're going to do at the end of this month, but we're going to do some kind of giveaway at the end of the month. It will not be a guitar, but it'll be something. All right, guys, thank you so much for coming in and checking out the stream, something different. Hopefully we can do it again. When I do these, it's just going to be for fun, to show you guys what I'm working on. We might pick a night where I just go through some settings on the SGX 2000 on how I program that unit. Something different, if that makes sense. And I did put the word in for a new guitar to review from Shenandoah Music. So let's cross our fingers that that comes in relatively quickly, and we'll get that guitar to review. And as soon as I find the next budget guitar, if you guys have suggestions, please go to Discord and say, Avery, I think this budget guitar would be a great guitar for you to order and review on the channel. And there's a ton of them, guys. There's Steve Brown's Sound. Let's not forget about those guys. There's a bunch of other guitars that we kind of forget about because we're always thinking about Amazon. There's Phantom guitars. I don't know if you guys remember Phantom. Earl Slick had a signature model by Phantom. Well, now Earl Slick has his own guitars. It's called Slick. So I've always wanted to kind of order one of those. So there's a ton of other guitars other than Grote, Leo, James, Icalock, Firefly. If you have a suggestion, please put them in the Discord and we can make a determination this week. All right, guys, we're going to do I don't really have a 5-minute closing. So I guess we'll skip that tonight. I know we normally do 5 minutes. So everybody say goodbye to everybody, because when I hit the end of stream, I'm pretty sure it pretty much ends it. You might be able to chat for a couple minutes, but it won't be like our normal stream. Thank you so much. If you gave a super chat, thank you so much for donating to the channel. That's what really runs the channel. It allows us to buy the guitars to give away and prevents from commercials. You guys got no commercials. So thanks so much for coming in on Friday night, guys, and hopefully see everyone tomorrow night.